Welcome back to another YouTube video. This is a sporadic video. I decided to grab my camera and I've been getting a lot of messages from people asking me if they truly believe that everyone can be successful, if everyone can become successful. Now, before I even talk about success, I've mentioned this before in so many other videos that success isn't universal. Success is very personal, but success is doing that thing which is hardest to you, because when you come out of it on the other side, that's when you feel that sense of true satisfaction. Now, to answer that question, I want to give you a story that will answer this for you. Do I truly believe that everyone can become successful? Now, there was a part of my life, there was a big part of my life where I started to make changes in so many different areas, and at the back of my mind, I will never try to give anyone advice. I will never give my opinion. Whenever I saw someone slacking behind or knowing that they could do a bit better, I would always just tell them it's okay, take your time. The reason I said that is because deep down I truly thought that that person could make a change, that I was special, that I could do this change and not them. I remember when I went to a gym when I was probably around 13 years old, and I was the weakest person at this gym. I remember there was a bench press machine that they would put 20 kgs on each side, and all the kids can push, all the boys can push it, and even the girls could push it, and I couldn't push it. So I made it my goal to be able to become strong. Now, the reason I'm giving you this illustration is to make you link the reason why I got in shape and a driver. There was a motivation, there was a reason. Well, I didn't like the fact that I was weak, so I decided that I could become strong. If someone else is strong, that means I can also become strong. Now, that's why for so many years I would just be that nice person. I would tell people what they wanted to hear, because deep down I really just thought that they couldn't do it. I was accommodating their weakness. Now, the reason most people are not successful is because they are very weak and they just hide that behind their excuses. Now, this is going to tie in again to answer the question, do I believe that everyone can become successful? Now, from what I've said so far, I've said that I don't believe that everyone can become successful. You have to be a special person. Now, becoming successful is having this mental image of what you can be like if you had this thing that you desire. Success is being able to attain this thing which you desire. Now, the reason that you can picture it in your mind, it means that you see yourself having it, which gives you another sense of feeling alive. That thing that you want is really that sense of achievement, that sense of fulfillment. You have that vision for a reason. I don't have it. Someone had a vision of becoming a pilot, and they became a pilot. Someone had a vision of becoming an electrician. They became an electrician. That person could have done anything else, but they decided to put all of their focus on one thing until they became that thing. Now, this is the thing. Do I really believe that anyone can become successful? Now, you have this vision that you are trying to achieve. Throughout this video, as we talk about success, there's one thing that comes into your mind. Now, what ends up happening? The thing with a lot of people is that most people give up too soon. They have a bit of friction. They find it a bit hard. Then they give up. They expect that the whole journey is meant to be pleasant, because that change that I want is going to make me feel great. So why all of a sudden I'm going through all of this tension? I'm going through all of these downs. I'm going through all of this stress. Because you are finally learning something that you didn't know, which is why you are not that thing which you want to be. Everything that you are going through is a lesson. Now, I'm going to give you an illustration that I wanted to get to this point. I have a friend, right? And I remember my friend at the time, he wanted to be a barber. And I have a friend who's a professional barber. So there's two barbers. My friend who's a professional barber, and my friend at the time who wanted to be a barber. And now at the time I would think that, well, we're around our other friend, he cuts hair. So I'm thinking that maybe he just feels, it's just a feeling in that moment, because they got to a point that I wanted to become a barber too. Now, he would cut hair, he didn't have the flick of the wrist. My other friend, he was so natural with it. Even I thought I was better than my friend, because I thought I had it, and I said, if I wanted to, I could become a barber. I gave up. Now, I remember he kept on having this vision in his head that he wants to become a barber. He wants to become a barber. 2 months went by, he wants to become a barber. 3 months went by, and he still wanted to become a barber. Now, in my head, I said to myself, he can't become a barber. He doesn't have it. He's not natural. He doesn't have the natural skill to it. And I said, you know what? Let me be the nice guy and tell him what he wants to hear until he eventually falls off and gives up. And that's the truth. And that's when I realized haters hate, on what they gave up on, because it makes them feel so much better that they fail, because it makes them realize that it makes them feel better for them not taking the risks that they wanted to take. And that's why people hate, because it makes them very uncomfortable that someone progressed doing the thing that you could have done, but you were afraid to take that first step. Now, let me just show you the friend that I thought couldn't cut hair, and I doubted. And this is the reason why I believe anyone can do the things that they want to do. Now, as I look for this picture, let me see what this picture is. This is him now. As you guys know, that's Lil Pump, and he managed to sit down and cut Lil Pump's hair. Not anyone can cut Lil Pump's hair. What does that mean? He managed to attain the vision of him being a barber. Now he's a full-time barber, which is fully booked. Now, what am I trying to say with this? Anyone can become successful. Success is this desire that you want. That desire is a contract for you to be unhappy with yourself until you get that thing that you want. Now, understand, some people have it more natural, like my friend who's a professional barber. Now, someone might be more natural, more gifted in that area of that thing that you want to attain. Maybe you're not so good at speaking. Maybe you're not so confident. Maybe you start to stutter. You start to break down sentences. Or it doesn't matter what it may be. There's always someone that's going to be ahead of you. So you either use that person as inspiration, or use that person as a point of jealousy. You become jealous of that person. Now, you need to understand, this is because you put them as someone as comparison. You're in this race alone. You're in this game of life, and no one plays it except you, because someone else doing better than you, how does that benefit you in your life? Now, understand that this is where you want to get to. Some might have started here, you are starting off here. The thing that ends up happening is, as you start going along, you start to feel overwhelmed. You start to have fear enter your mind. And where fear lays, there is no life, because all of a sudden you end up living in the future with these endless scenarios of things that you want to achieve, or things that might happen that is going to not allow that vision to come into fruition. Why does that happen? Because you try to think with logic in your current reality, and you leave that on, oh, if today's like this, then tomorrow's going to be exactly the same, so the day after is going to be exactly the same, so then eventually that thing that I want is never going to come about. You guys have the wrong mentality when it comes to success. You guys have to think of the compound effect. It's like a snowball effect. A snowball, you start rolling it, and it gets bigger and bigger each time. There are certain things that you can't put into narrative. I can't put into perspective that you are going to see this video. I can't see into perspective who's going to be my next client when it comes to coaching. But what I can do is focus on making sure that I improve everything that I do. And this is what you guys need to understand. That is what faith is, because faith eradicates fear. And fear is a killer of the mind, is a killer of action, and action is a killer of fear, and you decide which one to take. The thing is, you're trying to figure out this perfect plan, and you're trying to figure out, wait, that if I do this, it's going to be exactly like this, that I'm never going to make mistakes. That's the issue. You guys are so scared of making mistakes. You guys want a guarantee that you are guaranteeing yourself to lose, because there is no guarantee. The only guarantee is that you are going to die, and we don't even know when we are going to take our last breath. So this is why I tell you, what are you so afraid of? The biggest fear for me is being average, knowing that I have so much more potential. And every single one of you watching this video, if you made it this far, you have the potential to be great. I never knew I could be doing the things that I'm doing today. I have managed to grow a personal brand to over 600,000 people, have a community all over the world, and I didn't think this was possible. The only thing I focused on was just, let me put one foot in front of the other. Let me compete. Let me make sure that I make better videos. Let me just make sure that I stay consistent. And even when it didn't seem possible, I will start to question and doubt myself. Of course you're going to have these doubts, because you've never achieved it, so you don't know when it's going to happen. But you need to ask yourself, has someone else been able to attain it? Does someone else has this goal that I want? Yes. So what did they do? And you copy the action, because what they have is a byproduct of what they do. So eventually, that realization, that thing that you want will come into fruition, as long as you don't give up. I have been in rooms with many successful people, successful in things that they wanted to achieve, and they've successfully done it. And I've asked them all one thing: what is the answer to your success? And they have always said, never give up. And the thing is, we always give up. Why? Because of how we feel in that moment. We're trying to chase this feeling of fulfillment. That is what life is. We want to feel that feeling of achievement. Why do you want to retire your parents? Why do you have these dreams of getting your message to hundreds of thousands of people? Because you want that sense of fulfillment. You don't want You don't want the thing, you don't want to retire your parents. Of course you do, but that's a byproduct of what you end up feeling. You want that elevated sense of achievement. That's what you are going for. That's why I tell you guys, whenever you lay your head down at night, do you feel proud of yourself? Or are you feeling shame, guilt, and regret? These are the lowest frequencies you can live in. That is why you feel so frustrated. That's why you have this build up here. This is why you're always doubting yourself. That's why you never believe, because you're constantly living that mind frame. And you always tell yourself, I'm going to wait for the right time to operate at my best. I'm going to wait for the right time when the opportunity arises. How do you know what your best is if you've never operated at your best? You have to start living as if you are now, because that's how everything starts to align itself. You have to start matching yourself at that frequency. That's why every single day you need to ask yourself, am I satisfied with the work that I put in today? Because the work instills the worth. No one else can dictate what you are worth. No one can dictate the value that you have. The only reason that you believe what everyone says and you believe all of these doubts is because you don't believe yourself, because you don't follow through with the things that you want. No one has given you that vision. No one has told you these goals that you want. You have told them yourself, which is why you have to be honest with yourself in the attainment of it or not. Why? Because if you want to be successful, just tell yourself that you want to be a bum. If you want to be successful, just tell yourself, I'm not going to do anything with my life and I want to live in regret. Because if that's what you end up doing, then guess what? You become successful, because now your thoughts are finally aligned with your actions, and then you feel that sense of peace. No one has told you to have these goals. The reason you have them is because you are worthy of them. You can do them. Don't sit there and manifest and pretend it's going to come to you. Or if God willing, it will come to you. God wants you to have it. You are alive for a reason. Now you have to go to it. Stop using God's name in vain and expect everything to be done for you. This is the thing, you feel so entitled that you don't have it. Expectations weren't met and now you think you have a bad life. You don't have a bad life. Things just haven't gone your way. That's a different thing. Stop sulking and stop saying life is tempting me. You are tempting yourself. Stop saying life is testing me. You are testing yourself with all of the choices that have led up to where you are now. Where you are now is a build up of your last 1,000 days. So where do you want your next 1,000 days to be? Start making better choices. I believe everyone can become successful, because if I am where I am today, where now in 2 days I'm traveling to Turkey for another month. I've just come back from Dubai. I live life on my own terms. I make a living off my phone, impacting millions of people. This is what I always wanted. That was success for me. I've always wanted to be very financially abundant, but financially abundant, making an impact, living through my purpose, helping people find out theirs. This is the difference. You can't pay me $1 million a year to be sitting behind an office doing a job that I hate. I will not be successful. I will be very upset with life. The thing is, now I make money being able to do the thing that I love, helping other people become their best version and helping other people recreate the same thing that I am doing today. If you have a gift, if you've overcome something, if you have an area of knowledge and you don't share content on the world, you are being selfish, because your younger self wish they knew what you know now for you to be in the position where you are today. Which is why I always say those that don't post content, they're selfish. But before anyone can post their content, post their message, and everyone that comes up to me say, I want to grow a personal brand just like you, the first thing I tell you, are you disciplined? Why? Because if you're not, it will break you. I can give you the perfect blueprint for you to follow, but you won't be able to follow it. Why? Because doubt will enter your mind, self-sabotaging thoughts, then eventually guess what happens? You end up giving up, which is why the vehicle is you, the how, the person, the who, the person who doesn't give up regardless of how they feel, because they have this mission, they have this reason. And that will keep you going to finish and complete the why, the same that I have. I can give you my social media platforms. I can give you my Instagram with 334,000 followers at this, or 336,000 followers. I can give you all of my accounts, and guess what? It will break you because you don't know how to manage it. I can give you my physique, but you won't be able to sustain it, so it will damage you because now you would have experienced it without knowing how you've done it. And that's what happened to me. I managed to get 100,000 followers by luck, and guess what? It ended up breaking me until I kept on practicing and kept on going. And I say by luck, when in reality it wasn't by luck, because I kept on posting content for 4 years, and eventually took me to the point where I took action on something, and that was growing. But I only focused on one area. I didn't learn to analyze that situation and what I can get out of that. Eventually hitting rock bottom was the best thing that could have happened, which led me to that, which led me to managing, growing my accounts to over 600,000 followers and reaching 50 million views every single month. Now this isn't luck. That's what I say is preparation means opportunity, but you have to be the one that prepares for it. You have to be ready for it. The question is, are you? Most of the time you're not. Everyone is ambitious, but everyone settles for less. Why are you settling for less? Is your actions. Make sure your actions match the standards of the thing that you want. And I truly believe everyone can be successful. Stop giving up too soon. Stop feeling entitled. Love you guys at Soonwa. Write down your biggest reflection. If you're not following me already, follow me on Instagram at Soonwa_. And if you want me to guide you to help you become your best version, to live a life of purpose with no shame and guilt, DM me on Instagram, the word ready. Or if you want me to help you grow your personal brand, to create an impact, to share a message, whether you're an online coach, business owner, and you want the system to help me live full time of my personal brand, drop me the word brand on Instagram and I'll get back to you. Let's see if I can help you. Love you guys. Let's go.